Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. So guys, what I want to talk to you about today is setting up a beaver dam, what in my opinion, the proper way. Now there's as an old rodeo contractor I used to haul around with once in a while used to say there's two ways of doing things. There's a right way and then there's my way. Well, in my opinion, this is the right way. So let me get things set up here and let's get started on this. Stay with me. All right, gang, so we're doing this on dry ground so y'all can see just exactly what I'm doing. Now we have a fake crossover that we've dug here into this berm of dirt. And the first thing that everybody wants to do when they come up to these is they want to stick a 330 up here just like this. And they want to put some sticks around it to stabilize it and then a couple sticks over top of it. Well, that's all fine and dandy, and generally they're about half submerged underwater and the rest of it's sticking up. But guys, when you come up to these and you start seeing beaver tracks, fresh beaver tracks going up ahead of your conibear, you've got beaver going around them. All right, believe me, they don't know what the 330 is, but a lot of times they know it's not supposed to be there. So what I would suggest doing, is to pull that conibear out to where it's completely submerged. And if you have to, put some sticks up there alongside them to kind of funnel them in, and even maybe out here in front to make sure they stay on the path, and then put a dive stick of some kind over top of it. And yes, I like to use big brushy stuff like this because then I know when he sees that much of an obstruction over top of it, he's going to go to the bottom. Okay? So that's how I would set it up to begin with. Instead of trying to put your conibear half under up there real close, stay back here a ways, funnel your beaver into it, just like that. Then you would come up here on top in the middle of the crossover and you would hang a snare in the middle of it. And then on the back side, you would find a place to maybe either hang a snare or put in a foothold or even another conibear that's completely submerged on the back side. In my opinion, that's the proper way to set it up, because I'm going to tell you something. You're going to come up here and you're going to have doubles and triples tied up if you set them like this. Okay? It's not uncommon to do. You'd be amazed at how many times there are so many beaver that come and travel up together. You know, there might be 2 or 3 or 4 of them traveling together. Well, if you've only got this thing set up here in front of it, and you've got another one on the other side set up in front of it, and they know that it's not supposed to be there, you just missed chances. You just missed them completely. So think about trying to pull these conibears back out into the water a ways and get them submerged completely. Put your snares up there in the middle of the crossover, and then either a foothold on a slide wire, drowning rod wire, whatever it might be, or another conibear or something of that sort. Now my tip is to give these things plenty of chain or cable so that that beaver can swing over out of the way and be down and out of sight. I don't like pinning them right straight down there. I don't use conibears much anyway, because of the fact that you spook so many other beaver. So that's my tip there, is to give them plenty of chain, give them plenty of cable so that the beaver can swing over out of the way of the other beaver trying to get up and down this thing. That way they're not seeing it laying there dead, they're not spooking it. I've said it before and I will say it 100 times over. Live beaver on the bank do not spook other beaver. Dead beaver laying around will set them up and make them waspy and make them pay attention right now. So that's just my little tip, and like I said, this is just my way of thinking. You can take it for what it's worth. All right, guys, now I want to talk to you about setting up a dam break, okay? Now, the first thing everybody wants to do, and we've got a couple of simulated dam breaks here in our berm of dirt. The first thing that everybody wants to do when they do this is run up there and kick a hole in the dam and put a foothold in front of it or a 330 in front of it. And in my opinion, that's the absolute wrong thing to do, because the next thing you know, your foothold or your conibear becomes part of the repair. Or at least that's been my experience. Now, I'm not saying that you can't catch this way. I'm not saying there's guys that won't catch this way. I'm just saying that this has been my experience. Most beaver dams, if you look down them, in front of them, if the water's clear enough to see, you'll see a groove and then a drop off and another groove. Okay, that second groove, a lot of times, is where the beaver are swimming, checking the dam. All right, so the way I set these dam breaks up is I'll come here and I'll kick a hole in it down here, a small hole, just about like that right there, just enough to get the water moving. Then I come out and I find that second groove that I talked about. Now, I know that conibear is way up there high, but this is just for demonstration purposes, and this ground's still hard. Even though we had a lot of rain, it's still hard. It would be, you would want to make sure that you get it clear down to the bottom, okay? I come out here and find that second groove where the beaver are swimming, and I put a 330 down. I put a dead stick on the outside edge of it. I put a dive pole across the top of it. Sometimes, to narrow things up, you've got to put the second pole in. Sometimes you don't. It just depends on the dam. Then you come below it, and you put another break in the dam right here. Now, what happens, that beaver comes up here to check the dam. He hears water running, so the first thing he does is he patches this hole right here. He can still hear water running somewhere, so he starts to swim the face of the dam to find the second breach. Once he swims the face of the dam, he sees the obstruction in front of him, and he dives to the bottom and sticks his head in that 330 right there. Then the next day when you come in, a lot of times that second hole will be patched up, and you know you've still got more beaver here. You haven't spooked them. They're none the wiser. They've just went over here, patched this hole, turned around, and left. So you open that one back up. You reset your 330. You open this one back up, and you do it again. And they're never any of the wiser, especially on long chain, long cable, and kicked out into the deep water. They're perfectly fine. And that's, in my opinion, that's the correct way to set up a dam break. Alright, gang, I know that was kind of a fast little video for you, but I do believe there was a lot of good information there if you choose to use it. Guys, I appreciate everything you've done for this channel, and if you haven't already, if you would please hit that subscribe button for me, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you don't miss any content. Guys, once again, I surely do appreciate you, and this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.